Welcome to another episode of the Mixtape Matinee Podcast. I'm your host, Cole.
And I'm Court.
And today we have a recurring guest on. We got Eli Andersen back on. Welcome on, Eli.
Hello.
We're really excited to have you on today. We're going to be talking about the new album you just put out, Peace album by Olympic Deth, which I've been listening to like crazy, and I know Court's been listening to. And
yeah, I've been listening to it on repeat all day today to prepare.
Yeah.
Also, for those of our listeners who want to look up the band Olympic Deth, drop the A in the word death.
Yeah.
It's just DETH.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So to start off really quick with a couple of my questions is, and I think I've asked you this before, but I don't remember, but when you formed Olympic Deth, how did you come up with the name, and how did it all kind of get started?
I think the name just like popped into my head one day. I was just like, it was a while before I started the band. I was probably like 18 or 19, and I was just like making up band names and trying to draw logos for fun, and that I came up with that one, and I thought it was cool. Nice. And then I was playing in a band called Hobo Sapien, and was writing a lot of songs that like just didn't really make sense to play live with that band. Mm-hmm. And I was also kind of a newer member, so I think there was like, they hadn't known me for long enough to maybe fully trust me with some of the music I was writing. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted a way to put it out, so I just like made a SoundCloud page that I can't get into anymore called Olympic Deth, and then posted on there. And then Lucas Belknap, who ran a tape label around here called Porque No, he found it somehow and then just asked to put out a tape, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to like
do this,
put out more stuff with this. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you already brought up Hobo Sapien. I'm curious, has anything carried over from that era, or did you leave anything intentionally behind from your time?
Like just as far as like the creative process, or like, I think I'm always trying to push my creative process forward and figure out new things. I think I get sick of doing the same thing over and over again if I do it for too long. Because I guess for me, like, just making music it's just about trying to get better at something because I like doing it, just like if you're skateboarding and you're going to try and learn new tricks or something, that's kind of what like recording and writing music is for me, I guess, which is probably the same for anybody that does it. But so I don't know. There's probably things that are the same, but I've definitely gotten better at doing it, and I've gotten better at recording. So
that definitely comes through on the album, I would say. Like,
yeah, I think it's the best sounding stuff that you've put out. And the songs are more concise, and to me it sounds it's more,
it's cohesive, it's cool,
and I don't want to say it's like hi-fi, but like the mixing is like way clearer, and I think everything sits really well together. So I really enjoy that. I have a question about, can you tell me about the name of the album, and then also the album cover, how that all came together?
The name of the album came up, honestly, the album could have come out like a month earlier, but I couldn't figure out a name I liked for it.
Okay. And
so, and there was like some mixing stuff, and like I cut a few tracks and added a couple different tracks, but I was thinking it would be funny to call it like Best Album or something, but then I was like, that's kind of too, I don't know, that's a little too much, and so I was just like, it'd be also funny to call it Peace Album. That sounds uninspired because it kind of was.
Yeah.
But and also with the song Oklahoma Peace, I was like, I'll take that word and make it appear as if there's some kind of
connection,
theme. Yeah.
And then the album cover, what's that a photograph of?
Actually, 1 second. I will grab what it is.
Okay.
Listeners won't be able to see this, but it's this piece of like cardstock that was at the bottom of one of those cake aerial fireworks.
Oh.
So it got burnt up in that kind of circular pattern. and it has a bunch of Chinese writing on it, and somebody translated it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's just like a certification, like certifying that this firework has been checked and it's ready to leave the factory, and it's like says it's like certified by O1, and then some other writing I don't know.
Yeah, I actually I
like
I
that.
plugged it into an AI and had it translate it, and you got it pretty much spot on. It was like, this has been certified for release. It's like, yeah,
Yeah. I think it was my brother that translated. He speaks Chinese, so yeah.
So, kind of a follow up from Cole's question. So, the title Peace album sounds serene, but I found the music and lyrics to be often volatile, somewhat jagged in a really alive way. I know that you've already mentioned that it was kind of humorous to call it Peace album. I'm just curious, what does peace mean to you here? Is peace the goal, the joke, the outcome, the method? Like, what's peace doing for you here?
I mean, I guess peace is the goal ultimately.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I also like, I guess just making music is something that brings some kind of sense of peace or contentness to my life, because, you know, it's a way to kind of process emotions or like difficult situations, just to kind of get kind of just some kind of emotional expression out of my mind. I don't know, because I feel like a lot of the, and we'll get into this later, but like a lot of the lyrics are maybe roughly based on things that happened, but like aren't very representative of it, and it's just kind of it has an emotional meaning that like only I would understand, and other people. Obviously, it's all open to interpretation, so like people can connect to it. But I mean, yeah, I guess like yeah, I don't know. Yeah, peace is the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And it's cool that like the lyrics might not totally represent like they might not be totally autobiographical if you just did like a rote reading of them, but for you they mean something. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So my next question is, I think we've talked about it on the previous podcast that you were on, but what's your songwriting process like? Does it depend on the song? Like, are you starting off with guitar first or drum first? Because I know you're a drummer. How does that all kind of come together?
So on this album, a lot more of it was guitar. I feel like on the album before, I would base stuff around like drums a little bit more. I mean, it'd still be messing around on the guitar, but
yeah,
this one I tried to let the drums take. I think they're still mixed pretty loud, but like in at least writing wise, I tried to have them take more of a backseat and focus more on guitar playing. I'd like first of all, shout out Micro Goblet.
Yeah, those guys rule.
Because I think they've been a huge inspiration since I met them and started listening to them. But like, I was talking to Miles, the drummer, about a lot of like Canadian like music from Calgary in like the 2010s, like the band Women, Telstar Drugs, Chad Van Galen, Cindy Lee, that kind of stuff, and had been listening to a lot of that stuff, and Miles showed me Telstar Drugs. I got really into Telstar Drugs, and then just kind of was like, I don't even care about playing the drums right now. I just want to play guitar. So, yeah, I just wrote a lot on guitar, and then the drums came later, I guess.
That's cool. So on this album is it a lot of Dadgad, the tuning that you're using, or is there a lot of different other tunings?
Dadgad, and then DG AD. Yeah.
Cool.
So like Dadgad, but a G instead of an A.
Gotcha. And then, sorry, one more follow-up question. I'm just curious, once you have the guitar parts written, how do you write your vocal melodies? And do you base the lyrics off of the vocal melodies? Like, do you kind of have the melody and then you write kind of lyrics to match that melody?
Yeah, I'll usually kind of like... It depends on the song. Sometimes I'll just like have the instrumental or like a voice memo of the guitar part, and I'll just listen to it a bunch in my car and kind of sing along to it. Or I'll finish the song and try and like track the some kind of semblance of the vocals. I feel like typically for me, I will just kind of scat stuff and have random words. But this time I was like trying to be a little more intentional. So I was picking kind of random words and still writing around them, but trying to write out something instead of just scatting it and then going from there. And then so I maybe like redid the vocals like once on each song, but like I had a slightly more fleshed out lyrics.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really like your vocal melodies a lot. So, and
Thank
that's
you.
something that I want to try to do. So, I think your album is definitely inspiring me to try to do better at that, because it's cool to have like really interesting guitar parts, but then also have like a vocal that you can sing along with. Even though like this music isn't pop music, but in a sense it kind of is, with like how your melodies are and how
A
they're
lot of it's
so
catchy.
Yeah, really catchy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
speaking of that, a lot of the vocals feel very like nostalgic to me. And on a few of the tracks, the voice kind of seems almost like initially kind of passive or flat in its tone, and then it kind of blooms into something more melodic, I noticed. And I noted that with a few tracks. I don't have them written down, which specific ones. But is that kind of a character choice, a comfort zone thing, or just something that the song demanded at the time? And then I have a follow-up question with that as well.
I guess I don't know. I never really thought too hard about it. I think one thing that maybe is what you're talking about is I would do a lot of like, because I feel like for half the time I was recording, I was like sick, and so I couldn't sing very well, couldn't sing as high, so I would slow down the song and sing to it, or speed up the song, or do different things like that. So it does, like just doing that just so I could hold pitch better, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of maybe contributes to the like it feeling like maybe there's like different characters or different things going on. I did mess around with like layering vocal, like one layer of vocals and then one layer of whispering over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Specifically
noticed that.
Where
yeah.
it's at, you're doing kind of a whispering thing.
Yeah, and Ha 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 Unlimited too.
Yeah.
And then that ending part was like one layer of like a kind of weird fry scream that was set really back, and then like 6 layers of whispering. At the end
Oh,
of
is that
song.
what that
So-
was?
yeah,
It sounds really cool.
Yeah, when I
Thank
heard
you.
that, I was like, "Damn, Eli can do that type of screaming."
I know.
was like,
I can't very
it's
well.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is kind of a connected question to the vocals. Do you think of the vocals as kind of a narrator, a character, an instrument, something in between?
I mean, I guess I think of them more as an instrument. I like when I'm listening to music, I usually am not really listening to lyrics. Which is something like, and I tried on this album to improve my lyric writing, and because there are a lot of people that do want to listen to lyrics, and I also can appreciate good lyrics, but I definitely see it more as an instrument. You know, just it's like one of the, I guess, like few rock instruments that you kind of need for a rock song. You know,
Yeah.
not all. Obviously, there's great instrumental stuff, but yeah, I see it as an instrument, I guess.
Yeah, I think I kind of sense that in the song, because it definitely just feels like one more layer, one more like vital piece of the instrumentation that's going on. Honestly, like if you can't tell, Cole and I love this album. Like,
Thank
like
you.
seriously, like the fact that you produced it and made it on your own, and like you did all of the editing and did all of it. Like, I'm just like, it's like I could slow clap right now. Like you could teach a master class right now in how to make this album. I feel like, because I'm sure it took a lot of time, and
I appreciate that.
it's super cool. It's a super cool album.
Thank you.
For recording, did you record it to tape on this one, or are you recording to a DAW? And then also, like for the guitar parts, are you doing DI or recording from an amp?
I mean, well, I guess most of the album was recorded into my laptop. Their Tesseract was recorded on like 2 different tape machines. It it was recorded. Like I feel like I should explain this so I don't seem like I'm a nepo baby. But I have a 16-track reel to reel that I got for like $300. Really crazy Facebook Marketplace deal. And I don't have, especially at the time of recording, I didn't have like the right gear to really get a good sounding recording out of it. So Tesseract, the first and second sections of that song were done on the 16-track when I like first got it with just like a really crappy mixer. I only used like 8 tracks of it. And then the last section was done on a 4-track that I have.
Okay.
And then 531 is a really old song that was also done like on a cassette machine. That song actually is like definitely from before the last album came out. So yeah, it's just one I'd been sitting on for a while. So
okay, yeah, that's actually my next follow-up question is I was curious what's the oldest song on the album and the newest song. So 531 is the oldest.
Yeah, and then I think the newest I think the newest is I can't remember. There's 3 that were made around the same time. I think it might be Ada County.
Okay.
Or Dog Valley and Where It's At were made back to back. Like but I can't remember like which. I think Ada County might be the most recent.
The most recent? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of that track, as well as other tracks, a number of the titles are geographical, like Tempe, Dog Valley, Ada County, Oklahoma, Rocky Mountain. Is this album a travel log for you, or did those names just fit the moment, or are those literal places, or just kind of places you go in your mind?
I guess, yeah, they're all literal places. Like Ada County is the county that Boise is in.
It's actually pronounced Ada County.
It's pronounced Ada? Oh, okay.
Ada County.
For all
okay.
Those Idahoans out there. But no, you did. It's Ada.
I probably knew that. I have a lot of family up there, and so that's how I knew it. I mainly just read that sign when I'm going in there. Yeah. And that was just kind of like, I almost called that song Denver.
Oh, okay.
Just because for some reason in my mind that just was funny.
Well,
like
you were telling me the other night that you wrote that when you were in Boise, right?
No, it was inspired kind of by the Mountain West. I didn't write it in Boise, no. Yeah. And I went with Ada County just because I have more of a connection, or Ada County because I have more of a connection up there, and it just seemed like a funny kind of song to give a title that's connected to an actual place. Dog Valley is that's like a random exit on I-15 if you're driving south from Salt Lake City to like St. George. It's
okay.
It's just it's kind of, I think like I looked it up, and like up the Moss or some band has like a song called Dog Valley. It's just kind of a funny exit, and because there's nothing there, it's just this empty valley. And I looked it up, and I think it was named Dog Valley because there was a bunch of like pot guts and like that run around.
Oh,
so like the prairie dogs or whatever the pioneers were calling them. Tempe Hustle was also just kind of a funny one. The only like real tour that Olympic Deth ever did, it's not even a real tour, it was like 3 shows, and 1 in Vegas and then 2 in Phoenix. And we stayed in Tempe for like 2 days, and we just thought it was a funny place. Yeah.
Is that, I have a question about that song. Are you sampling by chance Deltron 3030 in that?
I don't think so. I honestly can't remember, because that one, I think, yeah, that one was made on or I guess when I was talking about the Tempe tour, that was,
yeah.
I forgot that we did the East Coast tour. Yeah, we did the East Coast tour later. Tempe Hustle was actually made on the East Coast tour.
Oh, okay.
in Dayton, Ohio. I bought an SP404 in Chicago on Facebook Marketplace because they were like really cheap out there for some reason. There was like 3 on Facebook Marketplace for like $200. So I bought one because I was borrowing Diego's, and then we went to Dayton a few days later and had a day off there. So we went to a record store, and I bought some random tape and sampled it into the SP404, and that's what that's from. I lost the tape. I'm pretty sure I left it in Dayton.
Oh, no,
so
you're good.
I can't remember what it is, and hopefully I never get flagged.
For some reason, the sample makes me think of that hip hop album. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
So one of your signature moves on some of these tracks is you'll snap between kind of a clean sound and then snap to a distorted sound, kind of. And I wonder, do you have rules for when distortion shows up for you?
No, I mean that's just kind of a case by case thing, I guess. I kind of have been preferring clean guitar lately. I think that kind of goes back to like, Women and Cindy Lee and a lot of the Calgary music of the 2010s. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I don't really have a rule for that. It's just kind of when it sounds good that I kick on distortion. Are you talking about like specifically on the guitars or just like overall?
Yeah, it's
production?
on the guitars, or sometimes it won't be that distorted until your vocals come in, and then all of it kind of becomes more fuzzy.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
That might just be a byproduct of the way I mix, because I've been on the master track putting this like Neve preamp plug-in on the master. So I guess once it gets above a certain level, it starts to clip a bit more.
It sounds really good. It sounds really cool.
You.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
I love
that is
it
on
when
purpose.
it almost feels like when like the beat drops in like a song and you're like, it almost feels like dropping into these like moments. Like, I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but like you'll have like this really clean part and then boom, distortion, and then boom, it's clean again. And it just feels really cool. So
Thank you.
What's the story with the song title "Guy Cut in Half"?
That was Tate was listening to some like death metal song called "Guy Cut in Half," so I was just ripping somebody off, and I just remember saying like that would be a really cool song title for something that isn't that genre, and then I wrote it down in my notes app, and then that song I made also when I was visiting, because I grew up in North Carolina, and recently my parents took a trip back, and I went back with them, and I brought my SP404, and I made it on that. And so I think originally it was called like North Carolina 1, but then
okay, cool.
I didn't want too many geographical titles on the album, so yeah.
That's probably, honestly, it's probably my favorite instrumental on the album. I love that one.
Thank you.
Have you performed any of these songs live yet?
Tesseract we have, and Twinkling Star we played live once.
Okay.
Because those are the oldest ones. I mean, I made Tesseract probably like over a year ago, and then Twinkling Star I wrote that one in like July or something.
Okay. And I guess the way I'll frame this question then is like, in the future, when you do perform these live, if you plan on performing them live, which I hope you do, what are you going to prioritize? Are you going to prioritize fidelity to the original project, energy, or reinterpretation? Like,
I mean, it's going to be a mix of all. I guess I'm going to try and prioritize, like sticking to the original as much as I can. But the fact of the matter is that like on a lot of these songs, there's like 3 or 4 guitar layers. So that's just like, and then some of the songs there's like 1 or 2 guitar layers. So like I am going to try and do it with like 2 guitarists and just get it as good as I can. And I think with some of the instrumental, like kind of more sample stuff, I probably won't do that live. I want to prioritize like being a live band, being really tight, having songs flow into another one, you know, like or into the next one. Because that's one thing I was trying to do with this album is like have very little dead space on the album. Make it feel like a kind of a mixtape kind of thing, and that's what I want to come across live. Like ideally, this would be impossible because we have to tune guitars and stuff. But like ideally, I just want to like we get on stage, we play the first song, and there's no gaps for half an hour, and then we get off the stage. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we also like we haven't practiced in a long time. Yeah. So I'm going out to Eastern Utah for work, and then when I get back, we're gonna start working on practicing it, and hopefully, I don't want to promise anything actually, but we'll have a show, at least a show, sometime this spring.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love the layering of the guitar, like all the different guitars layered on top of each other. Like it's super cool. I was trying to think of the classical music term that it made me think of. Is it I don't know. Fugue? Something. Anyway, it's very
counterpoint.
Cool. Yeah, and it's kind of very cool how, and I can see how that would be challenging to capture that live.
Well, I also think you're probably thinking of like on the album. There's a lot of counter melodies.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah,
which you can hear a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my next question, well, man, I have so many questions, but I'm going to go with Dog Valley. How did you record? I think you might have mentioned it, but when you recorded that, it sounds to me like a Spanish guitar. And then are you just sampling on the SP404 for kind of the beat part of it?
Yeah. So that one, it was a nylon string guitar. And then the beat was made through the assistance of the SP404. It was I don't have this mixer anymore. I sold it, but I had this old like Tascam mixer, and I was doing like feedback loops with it, and then sampling that and kind of getting these percussive sounds out of it, and then I like played a couple patterns of that into like to a metronome into my DAW, and then cut those patterns and copied and pasted them.
Yeah, I really like Dog Valley a lot. To me, it reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Dodos, but they were a band in California in like the early 2000s. And
I haven't heard of them.
Something about Dog Valley to me, and a lot of the songs, but specifically this one, it seems like, as far as like, your performance and then the lyrics on it, it just seems like a very vulnerable song and very emotionally charged. I'm not sure. Obviously you have, your own thoughts on it, but I just think it's a really beautiful song, and it evokes a certain emotion that's hard to put into words. But anyway, I really appreciate that song and kind of where it sits in the album. But
thank you. The lyrics on that one were, I write a lot of songs about like just driving, and that's basically what that one is about. And like thinking about driving around like Utah and just thinking about like the history of like Deseret and how crazy some of that is. But that's kind of the gist of the song. And I think with that one too, I can't like pinpoint an exact artist or like song that I was trying to capture, but I was trying to capture like what the Provo music scene was like, or at least sounded like to me when I was like 14.
Oh, okay.
I guess there was that band Bat Manners that was from Provo, and that guy went on to start Choir Boy, and I think he lives in Ohio or something now. But it doesn't sound like that guy's music. But that was kind of what I was going for. I was like, I want to make something that sounds very Provo to me.
And the beige Sport, I'm assuming that's just like the car that you were driving in. You were driving a beige car. Or...
Yeah. Well, I said beige Sport, which was supposed to be like sports car, but I don't drive a sports car. I drive a RAV4. So it just rhymed. So yeah.
I like the very Paul McCartney-esque. That little
like
bend
funky,
thing.
Bouncy.
That little bend guitar thing. To me, that sounds so McCartney in like a really lovely like poppy way. Like I love that. Like it reminds me of Paul McCartney when he when he left the Beatles and started doing like all of his home recording type stuff. Like that specific guitar part just makes me think of McCartney. So good on you.
No, I love a good bendy sounding guitar.
I described it as a rubber bandy sound.
Yeah. Well, I was doing a thing where I was like playing the same part but staggering it by, I guess, like an eighth note, and then panning them. So there was kind of, I think this is the part you're talking about. So they were panned and slightly delayed off of each other, but it sounds like a continuous kind of riff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Let's talk about Tesseract. So in Tesseract, the lyrics are, to me, the most philosophical. You sing about being everlasting, out of you, not wanting to become 3 dimensions. And then it switches to like talking about boredom. And I'm just curious, like, what's the emotional truth there that you're capturing?
Well, it's the 3-dimensional part is I think you never wanted me to become 3 dimensions, which is it kind of
you never wanted me to become 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's kind of it's not it's not like directed at anyone in my life necessarily, but maybe like a lot of people I've interacted with. And it was just kind of like an angsty kind of like, I don't know, this sounds cringy, I feel like, but just kind of like growing, like after moving to Orem, feeling kind of like stifled as a teenager or whatever. I don't know, just like teenage angst kind of stuff by my teachers, by my evil teachers. And that's kind of what the song is about. And then I need to have the lyrics in front of me. I can't remember everything.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go and I guess we'll go into our top 3 really quick. So we're
Okay.
just gonna pick our top 3 favorite songs and then hurry and discuss them. Then that'll be it. Does that work?
Word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
So
want me to go back and forth, or how do you want to do it?
yeah, we'll just go back and forth. So I'll start I think my favorite song on the album, and I know you know this because I was obsessed with it and I was texting you about it, but Tesseract is my favorite song. The guitar riff on it is super good. It's very catchy, very melodic. And
Thank you.
yeah, the lyrics are just super interesting. And I also really like what you did. You changed the middle section from the single, and then the album version's a little different. Like where the bass comes in a lot. In that middle section, I really like that. Really like that song a lot. And it evokes.
Thank you.
Again, it evokes some kind of like emotional response, and I'm not sure how to describe
Nostalgia?
it. Yeah, you just know how to write nostalgic things, which is like
Bittersweet.
Perfect.
the feeling is like coming across, and I'm like, damn, that's so awesome. I need to learn how to do that. But anyway,
Okay, so my top 2 tracks are really close to each other in terms of which one I liked the most, so it's hard to say. We've already talked about one of them a lot, Dog Valley. Definitely one of my favorite tracks. This is totally random, but I wrote down, it feels like a whole alien world, but also familiar somehow. And then also I put, this is so random, but I put, gives the impression of being in a forest or on houses raised on stilts in a swamp. I have no idea where that came from, but that's the image it evoked for me.
I like that.
I kept
cool.
picturing koi fish too. I have no idea koi fish.
Okay.
I loved that song a lot. We've already talked about the rubber bandy feel. I think this is your voice at its prettiest in the album.
Thank you.
Is on Dog Valley. It's just really nice. So, and then there's something on it that I don't really recognize what instrument it is. It could just be a guitar through an emulator or something. I put like Asian harp sound, like
Oh yeah, I know what that is. That was a 12-string guitar, a 12-string electric guitar mic'd, and then there's like 6 layers of it. So there's 3 different melodies being played that are harmonizing with each other, and then those are both doubled and panned, hard left and hard right.
super super cool.
So
Thank you.
When you're writing something like that, is it more trial and error, trying to figure out what melody would sound good?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, cool.
that sums it up, I
Okay,
guess.
All right, my next favorite song on the album is, and I talked about this at the show, but I love Nice Hall. I think that song is just so good. It rips.
Thank you.
It's such a simple phrase. That's a nice haul that you got there, and you can just sing it all day. And yeah, I love that one.
Thank you. That one actually might be my favorite personally, and I'm proud of my guitar work on that one. I really, that riff, the kind of two, like the guitar harmony part at the end, or like the chorus kind of part of the song.
Yeah.
That took me a long time to like teach myself that part.
It's so cool and super unique. So
Thank you.
You're a drummer, and one thing that we haven't hit on very much is the drumming on this album is super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to shout that out before I pick my next track. So the next track is Oklahoma Peace. This is like rhythmic, and it kind of starts out with this rhythmic percussive. Like, I think it's a synth. I'm not sure. I'm not good at identifying instruments.
That's the sampler. I can't even remember what I sampled, but it was just some little beat that I made on the sampler.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the voice comes in, and it feels warmer and more nostalgic than just about anything that I've heard so far on the album. I really like it. And then it kind of repeats in this kind of hypnotizing way. And it seems like the drummer is just having like a rollicking good time on that song. Like, it's just really cool. It's definitely, it's a toss-up whether this one's my favorite or Dog Valley. I like the cymbal hits. I wasn't sure if you were hitting cymbals or if it was a hi-hat, but it's kind of that muted cymbal sound that you have throughout it.
Yeah.
I wrote crunchy.
That's the hi-hat.
Oh, that's the hi-hat. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I wrote crunchy percussion combined with percussive sounding bass. I don't know. My notes make sense in my brain. A lot of the times I don't know if they, like, what did crunchy percussion mean? But yeah.
I know. That makes sense. I feel like I definitely was like the drums are pretty crunchy on that one. They're pretty distorted. I had the snare tuned up really high, and it's just it's honestly like one of the more simple songs where it's just like eighth notes bass drum and then like a kind of some weird snare syncopation, but nothing too crazy, and then it just goes to like hi-hat 16th notes on the chorus.
It's really cool.
Thank you.
So my next song, I really love "Ha Ha Unlimited." I love that song a lot. I really like at the end of near the middle of the song, you sing, and it's really cool. I like how you kind of offset the vocals. Yeah, some really brutal lyrics there, and you have some venom for whoever this person is, and you were tempted, but you didn't do it. You know, you didn't do what you were you weren't gonna tell any lies. So good on you, Eli.
The person that song is about doesn't really exist. What if I told you guys that? Yeah, no, that one was just.
Is it the person that you see when you have sleep paralysis?
Maybe. Well, I guess that person doesn't exist for me. It was kind of my friends had gone and played pool at some bar, and there was some guy that was like being a jerk to them and just hovering over them. They could tell the story better than I could, but that was kind of inspired by that interaction that I heard that they had, and just like a really annoying person when you're trying to play pool, because I love playing pool, and as soon as somebody gets in my way, but gets in the way of me and that cue ball, I'm going to lose my mind.
So was that person trying to be funny and making a stupid impression and trying to be jokey?
Yeah, but like in an annoying frat guy way, from what I understand.
Obnoxious.
Oh, is that the one that says "No one lasts forever"?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one I just referenced. Yeah, love that.
Okay, I kind of want to bring up a quick question before I talk about this next one. So in this album, there are these left turns, like banjo, and then like these plucked string textures, and then like this bright sitar sound, and then like 80s electronic tones, and also just sudden shifts in like momentum, and just like, how do you choose like new colors without making it feel totally random? Because somehow it still all feels
sounds like Olympic Death
cohesive.
songs.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably sounds like Olympic Death just because it's made by me and I'm recording it, and like most of these songs, you know, were like recorded in the same way. And then I guess just like I kind of mentioned earlier, like I just get sick of doing the same thing over and over again. Like there's only so many times that I can, like even now I'm just kind of getting sick of guitar and drums, I think. So I think it was like I try to, any instrument that I know how to play, I try to get good enough at it where I can write a song and try and push myself to progress at it. Which maybe isn't saying much because it also means I don't spend a ton of time on one instrument. But, and I think that just keeps things more exciting for me to be able to like, you know, reach for a banjo and try and come up with something or whatever. And then, just like I get sick of like the same kind of like distorted guitar and drums and bass, and so if I can break that up, I mean, I get sick of it, but I also love it, you know, because I love guitar and I love drums and bass. They're the best instruments ever. But but yeah, anytime I can like, you know, find some kind of texture that maybe is unfamiliar, at least to me, I'll reach for that just because I want to push myself forward and. You know.
So the reason why I ask about that is the third song I chose, which it was hard to choose. It was hard to choose, but the third song I chose has a lot of sudden shifts in it, and that is "Diamond Dozen." this one was really cool. The voice here is more dissonant and definitely not passive in this one. It's also, there's like a higher voice that comes in. And I was wondering, is that just your voice modulated up or?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I figured. And then very spinny feeling. The voice sings pretty, like when the sound kind of drops and the voice kind of comes in, it's almost like sweet in a way. I don't know how to explain. It's like nostalgic. Like there's a word I'm reaching for that I can't quite get. I've noticed there's never really silent moments in any of the tracks, really. Lots of layering going on in this one. I put that the guitars are kind of playing against each other in a really interesting kind of way where they kind of are in mesh, but also kind of playing against each other. Is that
the counter melody?
The counter melody thing. And yeah, the voice in this one sounds a bit melancholy, and it's just a great song. So
thank you.
So usually we pick 3 songs, but I'm gonna pick 4 for this album because it's so good. And this is a song that totally surprised me. I remember like the first time I listened to the album, I didn't really think much of this song, but man, it has become like one of my favorites on the album, and that's the last song, Trout Mask Replica on Accident. I really like this song. Especially the vocal melody is just so catchy. And I wish I knew exactly what you were singing, the lyrics of it. But again, this song is very nostalgic. It has a vulnerability to it, and it just seems so emotionally charged. And I don't know what you were feeling when you wrote this song, but to me, that's kind of what comes across with this song. And I just really like it. And I'm curious, are you a fan of Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart, or do you think it's kind of funny that all of these music nerds discuss it, even though it just sounds insane?
No, I like it.
Okay, cool.
I'm not someone who I wouldn't really. I don't think I'd ever be someone to engage in a discussion about that album. But I do really like it, and I love Captain Beefheart. But that song, like the song title and the lyrics, sort of were inspired by this like band that we played with. And I probably won't ever hear this, but I also don't want to say the name of the city that we played with them, but it wasn't on tour with Olympic Deth. I'll put it that way. Yeah. And it was just like, it was the craziest band ever. They had like somebody playing like a microchord, like arpeggios on it that were totally out of sync with the song, but you can tell they meant for them to be in sync with the song. And it was like, the frontman was like a guy that was like accidentally sounding like Mike Patton or something. Like, and like just like this really crazy band, and they were supposed to be like a hardcore band or something, but it was just like the band that booked us that show that was also like headlining that show was like, these guys you're gonna get a kick out of these guys. and yeah, like the music I think was objectively like not very good, I guess, but it was also very interesting because it was just like so out there, and like they seemed so unaware of what they were doing. It was just like really interesting to watch, and we were joking around and saying that they're accidentally doing Trout Mask Replica.
And
so,
lyrically, is that what the song is about? Is about that experience, or is it something totally different?
It's sort of about that experience, yeah. And then there's like some of it's about that experience, and then some of it I can't remember what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's cool. I like, cause I like the lyric. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count and dream in backwards. Swear I didn't know, but I kept up with the problem. I think that's what you're saying. But
Yeah. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count and then I bring it backwards.
I bring it backwards. Okay.
And I think that just because another thing about that song is I was like sitting on that guitar part for a while, and I showed it to Tate, and Tate said it sounded like a PBS or an NPR melody. That's how they described it. And so I just thought it'd be funny to start it off with numbers. I don't know. That felt like a PBS kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't.
so
Anyway,
funny.
yeah. This has been one of my favorite songs. I just love that melody.
It's almost a McDonald's melody too. That I didn't realize that until you hummed it.
Until you just hummed it.
Well, I don't think about it like that. I think it's definitely its own thing, and I don't want to tear down the song because I think it's really good. Anyway, this was a song, like a surprise song for me. And anyway, that's my last song.
I know we're just about out of time. I like to ask some lighthearted questions if you have a second. Okay.
Yeah.
On the opener, there's what I think is a siren that is sampled that morphs into something that I would almost describe as like an aquatic beast. If that sound were an animal, what animal would it be?
Maybe there's like a monster that lives in Utah Lake or something, like the Loch Ness monster, and that's what it'd be. That siren was like on the Olympic Death Tour, the East Coast one we went to New York, and that was the first time I had ever been to New York, and that's a sample of just a police siren there, or maybe it's an EMS siren, I don't know, but it was like, whoa, this is weird.
It almost sounded like a
like
dolphin or something to me, like almost like a whale.
Yeah.
Or like the way that you cut it, like the way it changes. And then the last question: if Peace Album were a snack you'd find at a gas station at 1 a.m., what would it be called, and what would be on the packaging?
Well, I'm gonna shout out to the state of Pennsylvania. It's a Tasty Cakes. If you've ever been to Pennsylvania, they have those in like all the gas stations. It would be one of those. It would probably be, I'm sure they already have one with this flavor, but it'd be maybe some kind of citrus, like lemon flavor. Maybe grapefruit flavor. You don't see that in a pastry.
Yeah.
And on the packaging, I'd probably just have a big peace sign.
Nice.
Well, okay. Thanks for being on.
This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for being on, Eli.
Yeah, thank you.
There is one last question. Tate wanted me to ask you, when are you going to grow out your goatee?
I'll start tomorrow. I won't shave. Yeah.
Is Tate a fan of the goatee?
I don't know. He just wanted
Some
me,
inside joke there.
He just wanted me to ask you that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
thanks, Eli, for being on. We really love the album, and
Yeah.
we hope all the success in it. And once you get practiced, I think I'm going to come down to Utah and see your show because I love this album so much. And I just want to say I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate your musicianship, and you're someone that inspires me to try to be a better musician. So I really appreciate.
I appreciate it, and I'd say the same to you as well. I think specifically, like when I was a kid listening to For Your Health, I think that really got me stoked on just being in a band as a teenager. So,
well, I'm glad that we can both inspire each other because this album blew me away. So I'm glad to know you.
I'm glad to know you too.
Thanks, Eli.
This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.